some time.
I'm gonna record too, by the way, for people who can't make it.
Excellent.
Repeat that. You said what's my say it one more time, Steve?
Like, okay, so I know Tesla was basically a downward spiral like the market today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going off like conversations that me and you've had. You said sometimes
Right.
like 30 to 40 trades a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know how many trades you did today,
Mm-hmm.
position size, and then I'll ask other questions about like the RSI a little bit later. But I
Got
just
you.
kind of want to know like entries and exits today.
Right. Okay. Today I made, let me see, 64 fields. So 32 trades today. I'm looking at my phone. 32 trades. Position size, I was doing $500 or 500 contract Tesla trades. That's all I did strictly. I tried that for the first time. It was a little risky on a weekly, but the market looked so weak. I said, you know what? Forget it, I'm gonna try it. Same concept, same rules, nothing changes. And it worked out. Position size, I was doing 1100 puts. I was doing let me see. Yeah, 1100, 1150 puts. They were like 9 grand a piece. So, like my first put 1150 weekly. I bought, it was 94.85 per contract, 500 calls. 500 puts, I'm sorry. So do the math on that. That probably is like almost 5 million, which is a lot considering the account only had about, I think, 11. So it's almost half the account. But I'm in, like I said, I'm in and out. So that was at 1019. I bought that. So let's go back to that. 1019. Where's 1019? Right here. Somewhere in here. Yeah, this candle. Probably got it. I was using the 3. I didn't use the 1 too much today. I did mostly 3. The 1 has a lot of fake outs. So for beginners, especially beginners, I would not recommend using a 1-minute chart. You want to use a 3-minute for way more confirmation and a clearer direction. I'm trying to go back to the exact minute I bought this. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Cross rejection. Okay. So in this case, I bought it right around here, 1019. So somewhere in between here, I bought it. TOS says 1019. So in this case, this was a cross rejection. We see that Tesla's trying to recover. It hits 1038-ish, tries to cross. It kind of rejected the super trend in this case. But I see the cross here. I'm waiting for more confirmation. It crossed and then went. As soon as it crossed, the candles went red on the 1. I was following the 3, so I wasn't even watching this one, honestly. I was in the 3, so I was probably, let me see, trying to get you the exact mindset or the exact time. Let me see.
While you looking for that time, what do you mean by super trend? You mean like by multiple like big candles?
Oh no, super trend is an actual indicator. Super trend is an indicator on Webull. So you see this line here, this red squiggly line with the red arrow. That's called a super trend. Pretty much it detects trends. So once that trend is broken, it'll go green. Like in this case, it went green for a second and then came back down. But it just indicates direction that the stock is going. So in this case, it kind of rejected on the 1 minute. On the 3 minute, we're looking for 1019, right? So this doji here is very weak. So this one I probably just traded actually off the doji. Once I see the doji here, and then this next candle breaks the previous low. So in this case, the low was, this is yesterday. My bad. I'm bugging. Let me go to today. I want to show you the exact time and the exact trade. I'm scrolling. Are we on? All right. Let me go to 15. It's taking too long. Let's go back. Where are we now? We're on here. We're back in November now. Bear with me for a second. I gotta scroll back. I think I scrolled too long. It's all your fault, Steve. You got me going through all this. All right, here we go.
Man, I need that money, baby. I gotta learn every step.
All right, here we go. Now back to today. 10. This was beautiful right here. Yeah, 10. Here we go. 10:30. 10 15. So even here on the 5th, even if you use the 15, VWAP rejected all morning. You could, these are pretty much easy trades. If you see the candle touch VWAP and then reject, and then boom, flush all day. But on pretty much every time interval you would have used today, you see nothing but rejections. Everything crossed down initially, and then reject, and more reject. I'm trying to get that time. Oh, here we go. So we were here. So in this case, you see the EMA20, which is another one I use. This is the 9. The pink is the 20. The blue is the 9. So in this case, we see the EMA20 now crossing VWAP. The 9 already crossed way back here. That was a nice move. Now we see, okay, Tesla's trying to recover. VWAP is right here as VWAP and a cross at the same time. In addition to that, the stock RSI is too high. The stock RSI at this point was 90, or even up here was what, 100, 95. So we see it's way up here, and we're attempting to touch VWAP while the stock RSI is all the way up here. At this point, you definitely don't want calls until you see the stock RSI come back down. You never want to buy calls when stock RSI is this high and you're that close to VWAP. Like I always say in the chat, I'm scared of VWAP. VWAP rejections are harsh, very harsh. And in this case, this wasn't even that harsh initially. But on this rejection that you see forming, we went from a high at 1057, it rejected, and now we're back down. As the 20 is crossing VWAP, we go from 1057 down to 1043. So that's about what, $14 move within 6 minutes. With this one, I actually cashed out around 1023, which is probably here somewhere. So I wrote it down to 1048, 1047. So that was about maybe $4 or $5 move on that put. But that actually wasn't even the best one. It was some really good ones today. Like this one here at 11 o'clock, man. That was good. That was nice. This is a very bearish formation here. You see that there is no cross here in the 3. But it's doing nothing but rejecting the EMA9. So today I did a lot of EMA9 rejection plays. Stock RSI is way up here, and we're still not crossing. So if we see stock RSI all the way up here, we're at what, 80, 90, and we're still bearish. We're not even crossing the EMA20, and we're way up here, which means we're going to come back down. So once I see this rejection here on the 20, then we're back below. I'm probably in again right here. Once we break this 1032 level, I think I even put it in the chat. Watch 1032. Once 1032 breaks, I'm in. This broke, rode it all the way down. I don't think I went all the way to 15. I probably got out like here, 1020. I'm not that risky. I like to sell before, it hits the support. By holding it through support, you're getting greedy. Like somebody who will hold here. Oh, we're going down. We're going down. The candle's about to close. It does close and then bounces. So now you're red. So never hold through your resistance line. What's that?
I said that's how you get clapped.
Yes. You got to get in with this type of strategy. When you're buying this, even if you're buying one contract, it's expiration day, first of all. And with this strategy, it's designed to not hold too long. It's designed for you to get in and get out within a few minutes or even seconds in some cases.
To clarify that for everyone, your trades today were 0 DTE?
Yes, I had a few that were December 10th, but just about, I would say 90% of them were 0 TTE.
Woo!
All right, I'm going to say one thing.
Yes, sir.
You are a madman, because to do that on the day of, I'm so afraid to do that on the day of.
Only do it. Listen to this. Only do that if you're deep in the money. Now here we're gonna go to the options chain. Let me switch screens. Hold on a second. I'm gonna switch screens. Only do that if you are deep in the money. So let me show you this. All right. So deep By deep, I'm buying puts, Tesla's at what, 10, 1030, 1025, 1040. I'm buying puts at 1100. I'm nowhere near the money. So I'm getting, $95, a dollar per dollar it moves. You see the delta here. The delta is a dollar per contract. So if
So
you're
that's
buying
per dollar move, right?
right, so for every dollar it goes down, I'm getting $100 per contract. So even if you got one of these contracts and you hold Tesla for 3 minutes from 1028 to 1013 times a dollar, you can make a quick $1,300-$1,400 just like that.
Right.
Even if you're not, you can do it out the money as well. It expires much faster because of the data. But the deeper in the money, the better. And you want high open interest. You don't want to go deep in the money and buy like a 1065. The interest is not really there. You want 1050, 44,000 volume, 11,000 open interest, or 1100, you got 9,000 open interest. And so, but throughout the day, you pay attention to who has the highest open interest, not necessarily the deepest in the money price, but you want interest to get that movement. You need that volatility. Without open interest and volume, your call or put is not going to move. It needs that high volume. So, but that's pretty much what I was doing. 1100s, and now if you're buying out the money, 950s on expiration day, people made money on those Tuesday though. They did make back on 950s because it was dropping crazy. But with those, you got to really get in and out because any type of stagnation will kill you. You need real movement on those. But in the money, as long as you're in the money, even QQQ, you could have traded that today in the money. Those actually aren't that expensive at all. QQQ, you can buy, a few calls, a few puts on that. Earlier today in my other account, I had QQQ puts at 386 and sold those within minutes. I wish I would have held them because at one point they were up almost like $1,000. But even these, you buy if you buy one of these at 284 and QQQ moves 50 cents, 35 cents, you can still get almost $1, 40 cents. If you're buying 5 contracts, 10 contracts of these, you can make some bread. Same concept. It doesn't have to be Tesla, but it does have to be liquid. It does have to have high interest. So in this case, you want the 385, 388 is okay. 395, not really. So this range right here was good today. Anybody who had puts at like 390, 388, this area on QQQ did very well. But yeah, on expiration day, you definitely don't want to be out the money on anything. You want to wait for the opportunity, make sure you buy it a little deep in the money with high interest and just ride it up or down, whichever way it's going. And that's what I do. Any other questions?
Well, anybody else? Because I usually beat showing up with questions every single night after I congratulate him. So anybody else want to go first before I ask?
It's only like 4 of y'all in here, so I think it's all you. Yeah.
All right. So primarily you're trading on the 3 minute then, because I know you said that you said the 1 minute is like too fast for you, like it's just too aggressive.
Yeah, in this case, especially on a Friday, you don't want to trade 1 minute. It's risky. You can use it as reference, but it switches up so quickly, it can really kill you. To the point where you can't recover. So 3 is much safer. It moves a little bit slower, not as slow as the 5. 5 is even slower, and 15. But 3 is good. You get good confirmations on 3. You can ride it up a little bit. Even like something like this, where you see it about to cross, a candle like this, you don't want to enter on. You want to see the cross first. Here, that was a nice cross. I would have probably got in right here after it broke this resistance. So when it's crossing, you want to look for a break of previous resistance. So in this case, you see the pricing here, where we at 1022, 1021, 1021. You want to see as it's crossing, you want to see this candle break that 1021 level. And also you want to identify what's the next resistance, which in this case is probably the 50 at 1025. But in this case, we went to actually 1029, but we went to 1025 here. But that was a nice candle to ride up once it broke that resistance. But once again, boom, back down again. Now in this case, This was another cross rejection, but the other way. So instead of it rejecting puts or rejecting calls, it actually rejected the put side of the cross on this 3. See how we're starting to curve back down. We're bouncing off that 1018 resistance, and then boom, it rejected and went from 1017 to 1032. I got that resistance clock too.
All right, so, since my color scheme is a little bit different than yours, I'm going to assume your 8 or 9 EMA is that blue line, and the your 20 days the purple.
Correct. Right. 9. I'll tell you. 9 is blue. 20 is purple. 50 is green. 70 is olive, which actually might change. It doesn't. Sometimes it gets lost. And then the 200, which is red. 200 we didn't even come close to today. We're way up here. So 200 played no part today. Besides it being death crossed earlier in the day. It got death crossed at like 9 o'clock this morning. Once that 50 broke the 200 up here, see that cross on the 3? That's a death cross. That death cross occurred right around 10 o'clock. Once that happened, 200 was never even part of the equation anymore. Not in the 3-minute chart, because we never got back there for.
Right. So you're also using a so I usually follow like the if the 20 is higher than the 9, I call that like my intraday death cross. You actually went into it based off like the actual death cross, the 200 and the 50.
Right. Yep. You play those too. Yeah. It just takes a little longer to develop. But in this case, when this crossed, if you see here, we dropped. We went from 1063 down to 1038. So, what's that? $25? $35? That's a big drop off that death
That's
cross.
100% on a Tesla call.
Oh, easy, couple 100% easily. If you're in the money, you're talking thousands. I'm talking 100, 200 grand. If you got, a lot of contracts. Yeah, that's like a 200-300 grand move.
All right. And is the 3-minute the main time frame you're looking at, or are you also looking at other time frames?
3 is the main. I also look at the 5, which I have on my other screen on TOS. The 5 is my base on TOS to my right, on my other screen. I keep that up at all times for NVIDIA, for Tesla, and for QQQ. But for my trading to enter and exit, I still use the 5 as a base to my right. If I see that curling down on the 5, and I see, with the 5 minute after the hour, if it's 10:14 and I see the 5 minute curling down, or it's 10:13, I'm like, okay, we got 2 minutes left in this candle's session, right? So if it's 10:13 or 10:09, so in this case we're 10:12, right? So at the same time that this 10:12, we just rejected at 10:12 on this 3. It just closed, and it's a pretty much almost a gravestone doji, which means bearish, heavily bearish. And we're already heading down. The MACD just crossed. This is a perfect put opportunity. The EMA9 has rejected. The stock RSI is already falling. The MACD has also just crossed right before the death cross candle appeared. So all these factors come into play when you're making a decision. So by seeing number 1, the EMA9 rejected, my resistance at 1032 rejected, the stock RSI is going down, the MACD has just crossed to the negative direction. We're already bearish on the RSI. It's put time. It's time for more puts. It really was time up here, but if you want confirmation, like I said, for me, I wanted to break 1032. Put time really could have been 1038 if you wanted to, but I want confirmation, so I'll wait to 32. Once I see this reject twice, boom, I'm in. And I'm in for that $15 ride down from 1028 to 1013.
Let me ask you a question. I'm looking at your lines. Are they like lines you drew yourself? Are they like auto fibs? Or well, I guess the other one is Fibonacci, but you would have drawn that yourself too.
Yes,
so
I do it all. The blue lines, the purple lines are my self lines, resistances that I've established myself. The blue lines are fib lines on the 1 hour, sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes daily. My chart looks crazy. You see this. But the blue, I differentiate. One of my friends suggested, why don't you differentiate your lines from fib lines? I said, okay. So the blue is fib daily on this, in this case, 15 minute. Actually, this is daily right here, right? Yeah. But yeah, I do my own. Most of my lines are my own. I use fib just as a baseline, but primarily I trade it based off my own supports and resistances. I don't really. I mean, fibs are hard rejections, hard bounces on fibs, but it's a lot that goes on in between there. And with Tesla, with the fibs of Tesla, it's so wide is you can't scalp off a daily Tesla fibs. You need 15-minute fibs. You need your own in between, all that. So, but yeah, a lot of the lines you see are all pretty much me. Most of it's me. The blue is fib, but the rest is the purple stuff is me.
Do you ever, and I've kind of like just learned this this week, and it's been really helpful. Do you ever like do your fibs based on like the opening breakout range or whatever, like within? So I've been doing it on the 5 minute after the first 25 minutes of trading, and I feel like those levels have been like pretty good for intraday.
So you're saying 5-minute fibs?
Oh, like on the 5 minute chart, I'll wait for the first 25 minutes, and then I'll take the low and the high of that, and I'll do a fib level off that based on the 5 minute, and that's been pretty good since I started implementing it.
That sounds good. I don't typically do that. I'll do what I'll do is in pre-market, I'll see what's moving, what's not. I'll see what's the pre-market low, what's the pre-market high, and I'll trade based off of that. My initial trade is based off of that. Most of my, especially with Tesla, most of my lines are already mapped out from 1300 all the way to the 8s or even 7s probably. So yeah, I've got it mapped out all the way down to 488. So it's like most of it's there. There's a gap here. Actually, being that we're going down so fast, I probably, now that you mentioned it, I think it reminded me. We're about to hit the previous gap. We're almost there, 947. So this is an opportunity for another line, because on the daily, Tesla's about to cross the 20 is about to, the 9 is about to cross the 20. The 9 is at 1088. The 20 is 1082. We haven't been that close in a while, long time.
Yeah,
probably since the spring.
That's gonna die.
So, and with this long candle, and if you look at the weekly, there's still some room to go down. The MACD hasn't even come down yet on the weekly. Sorry for all the lines, but yeah, I mean, this is coming down. We might even see 800s, honestly. If this 900 doesn't hold next week, or really you want 944, this weekly right here to hold. You really want that to hold. If that doesn't hold, it doesn't look good, because the MACD is still very high.
All right, I got a question.
You got to go? Oh, you got a question? Okay. Yeah, Tony.
No, I got a quick question. Remember you got a second.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
You hear me?
It's kind of broken up a little bit.
But when you mark your resistance,
oh,
it is. Oh, hold on 1 second.
That's better. That sounds better.
All right, I'm back on the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
When you mark your resistance, are you marking like significant resistance, or are you like doing it like pre-market or that day? Because I kind of like I'll mark them for the day. Like when I'm like, let's say like this morning I looked at pre-market, I marked the low, I marked the high, and then I'll mark somewhere where it might have had like multiple taps.
Right.
And I'll do that, and I'll base my resistance and supports off of that once market open.
That's a good way. That's exactly what to do. In this case, Tesla pre-market didn't really do much. You see, it was pretty stagnant. If you look at,
that's how I usually see all the pre-market. So that's why I don't really like. I don't like rely on it.
Right. So in this case, yeah, it's not you should have your resistances and supports drawn out anyway. Pre-market shouldn't be your only indicator. In this case, this morning I said Tesla needs to break 1098. If it doesn't break, which is the pre-market high, which is at 4:15 this morning. If it didn't break that, I'm not buying calls. I need to see that break first. And it never got to it. It never even came close.
Because a pre-market high, so you was expecting that to break that high,
right?
In order for it to be bullish.
Correct. For me to enter calls, I need this confirmed. I need a candle closed above this price. Consecutive 3-minute candles for me to get in. I saw that it was weak at first. Sometimes Tesla start off weak and bounce back up, so I waited. I actually didn't enter any trades until like, I think, was it 10 o'clock? I didn't trade. I usually get in earlier. But what Friday, I was like, I'm not taking trades. I want to see what's really going on. So yeah, my first trade wasn't until 10:19. I waited almost an hour.
Right, to see what was
Really going on, and once I see we're dipping, and I see on the 15, we're below VWAP. I'm looking at the 5, we're below. I'm like, wow, it really is gonna be a rough day. But I really missed a lot. Had I got in puts up here, man, you could have seen 3 million today instead of 2.
Oh, it was a rough day for ballholders.
Yeah, but I got in. I didn't start till we got like here. I came in like around this time because I wanted to wait for a bounce. It kept going down. I'm like, wow, I missed all this put money. And then I saw the bounce. I said, oh, but nah, it was over.
Well, me, I feel as though like my pro bull was in the way of me like being like, you know what, this could be a bear day today. I can grab a put and just sit in this put all day because it just kept going down and down.
Yo, the 1090 puts this morning, 1090 puts were like 600. At one point, they were up $4,000. You could have turned 600 you could have turned 600 to $4,000 on one Tesla 1090 put. One within probably like an hour or so, hour and a half. If you're willing to hold. It was that bad, so.
But see, when you grab a put, you still need the same like volume and volatility in order for it to, I guess, be prosperous?
Yes.
Or would you be able to hold it and just still kind of, slowly, gradually get gains?
Well, make sure when you buy it, first of all, make sure it's in the money, especially on a day like today. But same concept as the call. You need that same open interest. You need that same volume, and just ride it down and get out when you feel comfortable. For me, there's no way I'm holding that to $4,000. No way. I'm not that much diamond hands. People say diamond hands. No way. I'm definitely not a diamond hander. When I see something go left or go the opposite way where I thought it was gonna go, I'm out immediately. I'll try to keep my stop loss at 5%. I don't even have a real number, but once I see my call or put go red, I'm out. I'm resetting. I may take 2 or 3 minutes to look and say, okay, which way are we going, and wait for the next opportunity. But don't hold stuff waiting for it to go back up, waiting for it to go back down. Just cut it.
Just cut it.
Yeah, don't let your ego.
That's what I'm on right now.
Yeah, don't let your ego
So do
get
you
you.
Suggest like a 10%,
whatever you comfortable with. Like I said, for me, as soon as I see red, I'm out of there. I'm not waiting. I'll go back in later. I'm not gonna wait. I've seen too many times where people hold stuff. Oh, it's gonna come back. And it never comes back. And they end up losing, 50%, 70% because you was hoping instead of reading the chart. Or just admit you're wrong. You were wrong. So what? You're wrong.
I was in it. That's when I posted today. I was in that same predicament because I was down like maybe 60%, something like that. But I was like, trusting my gut. I was trusting, the charts. I was like, it's gonna bounce. But it just didn't bounce all the way. But I was able to get out,
right.
With, like 20% maybe, loss.
Loss instead of 60. You got lucky. A lot of times you don't even get that.
So I'll never go ahead and say, don't hope, don't pray, don't diamond hands. Like, I'd be up over 300 grand this year, but I've had like 3 bad trades that destroyed my port. I've made friends with the sell the bid button when stuff is going against me now.
Sell it, get out.
Trust me, I'm learning, man. I didn't got calls clapped big time, just waiting, thinking it's gonna bounce back.
It happens, man. I've lost thousands, especially when I first started doing this years ago. I lost a lot. I gained a lot, lose a lot, gained a lot. And then I started, I was like, all right. Then I started doing longer calls. I started doing the ER stuff. The ER stuff actually worked really well. And that's what really got me up. And then once I got that, I said, let me learn something else so I could really, at first I was actually very opposed to scalping. I hated scalping. I'm like, who does that? That's crazy. How could you get in and out of calls and puts within minutes? That's ridiculous. And then I said, you know what? Let me practice this. So I started, reading up, studying, and devising. I was like, what can I do? What can I make? How can I make this almost textbook? to a point where I know when to get in and when to get out. I'm not guessing. I'm not emotional. I want to make this textbook to the point where I could teach it to anybody and anybody can do it. And I worked on that for probably the past, I would say not a year. I would say probably like the past 8 months. Within the past, I would say 4 or 5 months, I really ramped it up. And now at this point, it's textbook now.
Right.
And it works. You know, like I said, I was an anti-scalper. I was a swing guy. Oh no, how could you scalp weeklies? You know, buy something 3 months out, let it ride. That was me.
Right.
You know, and that's just not me anymore.
I mean, ever since you put me on to like, you know, the Benzinga Pros and the Flow Algos,
yeah,
like kind of seeing all of those things together, it gives you a better direction of like the market.
Let me share that too. Actually, as you mentioned, that's a good point. So let me pull up that Benzinga. That Benzinga is gold, man. I mean, I got both of them up. You see, y'all can see the screen.
Yeah.
So every day, this is what I filter. I do Merlin once in a while, but Docu, I wanted to see how that was moving. I ain't even trade that today. I was gonna trade it this morning, but I stuck to I know. I stuck to my Tesla. I said, nah, I'm gonna just stick to what I know. So I stuck to Tesla. But this is what I do. I have my flow algo on this side, looking at whatever's coming in. I got it filtered for just what I'm trading, what I want to see. So in this case, it's the same stocks on each side. I didn't put Netflix over here, but Netflix dropped today too. Everything dropped. But I'm looking at this all day. You know, I'm looking at what's coming in, and I'm looking at it more, not seeing what they're buying per se. I'm looking at it for confirmation on what I'm buying. So I'll say, okay, I'm going to buy 1,100 puts. He's buying 960 puts for December 12th or December 10th next week. I'm buying 1,100 for today. So he's bearish as well. You know, I look at the pricing. This person put 425K on 950. So everybody's expecting Tesla to hit that 950 next week, which is a key level.
Right.
That's a very key level right here. They're waiting for that gap right there. Now, if it breaks that gap, whoo, man, you're talking 913 after that. Actually, I should probably mark that too. But everybody's looking for that to hit. After today's candle, that's a very bearish candle.
I was about to ask you that. Once you've seen it drop to the, I think it was like sub like 1,000 or something like that. You think it may drop under that again since it tested that today?
It tested on the 15th. It tested 978.
Like something.
Yep, on the 15th it tested 978. So right now my target is 978. If this doesn't bounce again, then we're looking at 950, 944 right here. This has to bounce again. If this doesn't bounce at that low at 978, we're going down here. And if this doesn't hold, forget about it. We're talking 915. That's the gap from 944 to 915. That's a huge gap. You may even see 800 after that. But yeah, that's what we're looking for next week. Overall, the trend is definitely down. It broke my triangle. My triangle is now broken. So yeah, we're
you
down.
back on the charts now?
Yeah, I'm looking the wrong. I'm still showing you Benzinga. Okay, but yeah, this has been. I wish I could share multiple screens at once, but yeah, with these puts, like look at this. Somebody got 1.293 million on puts next week. Let's go to the total trade values.
Okay, I see how you're reading that now.
So somebody put 12 million on. Now you talk about me going deep in the money. There's whoever this is, whatever hedge fund this is a hedge fund or some guy who trades heavily. He got February 1,200 puts for 12 million.
So now with with him going that far, you know, down the line, that's gonna make that's going super print, right?
He already killed it. He might have sold this already because Tesla went from 1017 down to 1,000 right before close. So that's a $17 move. He's getting $1 per contract, and he bought how many contracts? 17,000. So I mean, you do the math.
Yeah,
he killed it. He made a couple million in the last 20 minutes of trading. Whoever this is made 20 million. Made a couple million. No, I ain't gonna say 20 million. He made a couple million.
Right.
He definitely made a couple million. Whether he's holding it still or not, I don't know. It could. Right. Like I noticed with Benzinga, we don't know if they're holding it. They could be scalping just like us. We don't know. Just because you see somebody put 12 million down, I mean, he holding it to February. He might have got in and
Absolutely.
out. You know, he probably got in and out. Another one, 6 million. They got calls for 2020. Now, see, this is a dip buyer. This person saying, okay, yeah, we dipping right
Right.
now. I'm gonna just throw my 7 million in there and wait. If I gotta wait 2 or 3 months, okay, whatever. We'll hit 1100 again. So he's cool with buying a dip. Or he might be playing. He might have actually got out too. Let's see,
Or he might have
1252.
played a couple candles and rolled up.
Right. He played a couple candles because Tesla did retest 1030. What time was that? He came in at that was 1252. Let's check the chart. That was probably a scalp, a safe scalp, a leap scalp. People do leap scalps too.
Like, you know, maybe I'm gonna say maybe 4 or 5 opportunities for a nice little, you know, call scalp.
Yeah, I had like a few. I had very few call scalps today. Very few. I wasn't really looking for them honestly because it was so bearish. I said anything that pops, I'm just shorting it. Everything, every pop, I'm shorting because I don't see no real reversal in sight. So whoever this was, let's see, 1252. Okay, so he might have bought this bounce right here. He got in probably here because 1252 is his ticker.
Still on the monitor.
Oh wait, let me go back. All right, so we got 7 million. Let's track it again.
I'm looking at my iPad, looking at the chart, so I can.
So he got in 1017 at 1252, 1017. Oh, 1021. I'm sorry, 1021 at 1252. So I'm gonna switch screens.
Okay.
1021.
Now, another rule I go by, which I heard, is when the shorter time period candles go below the long period candles, then it's a bearish sentiment.
Yes.
Of the stock. Now, even that means even the same way on the, let's say, 1 minute to 5 minute.
It's all the same. Still the same. Yeah. It just happens much more quickly on those frames than it does on, say, a 15-minute or 1 hour. But same concept.
Because I might jump from like the 1 hour to 30 to the 15, and then within the 1 and the 5, just to get, you know, my overall view of where the market is going.
Okay. Yeah, I do the same. I do 15. 1 hour I may do once in a while. But for my trading style, 15 is pretty much as far as I go.
All right, we got 1 minute left before the Zoom runs out. 2 quick questions.
Oh wait, I can restart it though. If it stops, I'll just restart it. I used to pay for it, but I stopped paying for it.
Yeah, man. Well, on the budget.
So if it drops, just rejoin. I'm gonna restart it.
All right, your storage RSI, are there those stock settings, or did you make any customizations to it?
Stock settings. I did not touch this at all.
Okay.
Nope. 3 14 14. I didn't touch it. Weeboy did the work. I didn't do nothing with it. I can't take credit for that.
I see that you have the level 2 up. How much of an emphasis are you watching the tape?
I used to watch it a lot when I